You know, last week on the show, or a couple weeks ago, we were talking about post-Father's Day, about people that I said were bad fathers complaining on Facebook how their kids didn't get them anything. And I was saying, you know, some fathers are crappy and they don't deserve anything. And it led to some interesting phone calls, some of which came from people that said, you know, a lot of fathers who want to be involved can't because of, for whatever reason, the mother won't let them get involved. And there was some really interesting conversation. And so Barb and I talked, and Barb said, we need to get somebody that can discuss further. And we do have somebody, right, Barb?
Yes, we do. We have Stephen Westerfield. He is the Area 7 coordinator for Illinois Fathers, which should be a really interesting topic here.
Yeah, and this is a group.
This is kind of the other side of the whole story.
Yeah, it's guys that were exactly what the one we had a woman caller that called in, and she was talking about there are guys that want to be in their kid's life, but they find it hard to do because of the mother or because of the court system or because of different reasons. That's what Illinois Fathers talks about. Let's welcome Stephen Westerfield to the show. Hey, Stephen, welcome.
Hey, thanks, Ray, for having me.
So your organization, you guys do what?
Well, our mission is to assist non-custodial parents in maintaining a meaningful and substantial relationship with their children. And we strive to educate the public of the importance of such parent-child relationships. We believe that children need both parents.
And this is guys, because listen, admittedly, some guys, they just want to get a girl pregnant and then they're done. They're
out.
Gone. Yeah.
And it leaves a stigma that, you know, we're all deadbeat dads. And,
right.
You know, there's a lot of us out here who are not.
And some guys have kids with a woman maybe they didn't want to have kids with or whatever, but that doesn't mean they don't love the kids, or they have kids and we're going to live happily ever after, but something happens. Whatever the case may be, this is for guys who are divorced or not with, never married to, whatever the case may be, but yet still have a child with someone who has custody of that child.
Correct.
And so these are guys that want to be in the child's life. Give me instances where they're not in the child's life even though they want to be.
Well, you know, a lot of it comes down to when you get divorced. 80% of non-custodial parents in Illinois are fathers. And
well, that's because judges, when it comes to divorce, and I've had friends who got divorced, here's how judges work in the state of Illinois for a divorce trial. They have you go in and they go, okay, great. Now it's time to decide custody. Okay, which one's the mother? Her? Okay, good. Case closed. That's who gets custody. And it's sad, but but from central all the way down to southern Illinois, the judges rule, and I actually read about this. It's astronomical how the judge basically decides the case by going, oh, which one is the woman? Oh, that's her. Congratulations. You get custody. It is astounding how that happens.
It is. It really is. And, you know, and once it comes down to that ruling, you know, the custodial parent is given 26 days with the child, and, you know, the non-custodial parent's given 4 days a month. So, you know, I mean, it's really hard to build a substantial relationship with your child, only seeing your child 4 days a month.
Now, do you deal with men who can't even get the visitation because their ex doesn't allow the kids to see them and things like that, or?
Yeah, we absolutely do. We actually have a couple cases going on in Sangamon County right now where the exes don't want them to see the child without, you know, they don't want them to see the child. The judge is like, well, you got to give them some time with the child, so we'll do what is called a supervised visit. Well, then the mother, you know, the ex, I'll stay away from the gender, you know, the custodial parent won't approve any of the supervisors. So one thing that we do is we volunteer our time to be a voluntary supervisor. This way, this father or mother, in rare cases, can get to see their child. Because if there's not a suitable supervisor in the case, then point blank.
Oh, so your members become. They are. I don't know if there's a license or what it takes, but they actually could be that supervisor.
Absolutely. What it takes is we go in front of the judge and we submit a resume, and the judge will ask us a few questions and make sure that we're not having a biased approach to the case, and we have nothing to do with the case, and then the judge will go ahead and approve it.
Well, I mean, what causes it? And it's hard for me because, listen, I got married young, and we've been married forever, and we have a child, and divorce is just, I mean, it's never crossed my mind. So it's hard for me. I empathize, but yet I've never gone through it. And having not gone through it, I don't know what causes a relationship to deteriorate to the point of you're that angry you won't allow the other person to see the kid. And don't get me wrong, I'm a child of divorce, and my parents, boy, when that went to hell, it went totally to hell. But I don't understand these relationships I see now where there's such animosity between two people that used to love each other, and and the effect that it has on the children. How do we fix that? Is there a cure for that to keep it from getting to this point, or do we concentrating on just calming it down after we've gotten to that point?
Well, we have to balance the scales. We have to, there's benefits. Honestly, there's benefits for a non-custodial custodial parent to have the child 26 days out of the month, because then, the non-custodial is more liable for child support. They're more financially obligated because they don't see the child in equal amount of time. Then the state of Illinois will get involved, and child support enforcement will come in. And if that single parent goes and tries to apply for a medical card or food stamps or something to that nature for their child, then the Office of Child Support Enforcement automatically steps in and demands that they go after the non-custodial for child support.
Well, how big a problem is people not paying child support in this state?
It's a big problem. It really is. And why it's such a big problem is because it opens up the gate for child support enforcement to step in. And they get government kickbacks from the federal government. For every case that they have open, they show a need for their services. So therefore, they are collecting federal funding to keep running their organization.
Do they go after guys who maybe shouldn't be, like they're the guys that pay it, but they still end up getting treated poorly because, in other words, is there a stigma that's going to guys who have done everything they're supposed to do? Is there a stigma attached to them because of the deadbeats?
There absolutely is. And I mean, there's a complete stigma that, that fathers are deadbeats. And, someone can get hurt or injured and lose their job or become incarcerated, and the child support doesn't stop. So it's very easy to fall behind. And then once you fall behind, they stick you with a 9% interest rate on this child support, and then you can't get out of this hole. And then they'll come and they'll take your driver's license away from you, so then you can't get back and forth to a job.
So how are you supposed to pay child support when you don't have a driver's license?
Right. So how, exactly. So how are you supposed to get back and forth to work to pay this child support to get out of this hole?
So
it all amounts back to they want you to stay in this hole.
Illinois Fathers is your organization. You're you're Area 7?
Yeah, I'm an area coordinator for the 7th Judicial District.
Okay. And like I said, you guys will be supervisors for supervised visits and things like that. It is Illinois Fathers. You got a website?
Yes, IllinoisFathers.org.
If anybody wants to find out more about it, it sounds like you guys are doing good work. I wish you well. And, Stephen, I thank you for coming on the show to talk about it.
Yeah, I thank you for having me, Ray.
All right, take care. I have some friends, and I know some kids who are just some of the greatest kids I know, and some friends of mine. Amazing. But the mother and father are apart and have been apart for most of the child's life. But yet, they're doing it right. People who have split custody or who have custodial and non-custodial rights all worked out, and they just work it out. You see these amazing couples, and there might be step-parents involved and everything, these amazing couples that are raising really amazing children. And you see that every day. But yet, we always end up talking about the deadbeats who are never in their kid's life, and and they're behind in child support. And you just heard another story of how much those people hurt the people that are trying to do it right. It's always amazing to me. It's always amazing to me how many people don't care about the real people who are hurting this, which is always the children. And what we need to do, though, is we need to study the people who are doing it right. It's time to study the parents who have figured it out instead of the people who are profiting from fixing the problem. Case in point, the child support hunters that we were just hearing about. Anyway, it's Ray Lytle Show. More after news. News Radio.